Good morning, everyone. Welcome to online lecture series owing to COVID-19 pandemic. SYBBA Semester 3 General for academic year 2020-21. Subject is Financial Management 1. Code number for this subject is UM03 CBBA 23. This syllabus is effective from June 2019 at Sardar Patel University, Vallabh Vidyanagar. Myself, Professor Devang Trivedi, Anand Commerce College, engaging you for this subject at SYBBA Semester 3. This subject is divided into 4 units, and each unit has equal weightage of 25%. There are certain basic text and reference book prescribed by Sardar Patel University. They are Financial Management by P.V. Kulkarni, Financial Management by S.N. Maheshwari, Financial Management by I.M. Pandey, Financial Management by Prasann Chandra, Financial Management by Khan and Jain, Financial Management by R.S. Kulstrest, Financial Management by Van Horn. Over and above this textbook, there are other tailor-made reference books also available in the market and bookstores, which also you can utilize, which you may find very simple in explanation and understanding. So depending upon the language that may well be suitable to you, you may utilize them. Now the first unit is about the introduction to financial management, and this first unit is having a weightage of 25%. Now let's come to the introduction of financial management. Business concern needs finance to meet their requirements in the economic world. Any kind of business activity depends on the finance. Hence, it is called a lifeblood of business organization. Whether the business concern are big, small, medium, tiny, or of any size, they need finance to fulfill their business activities. In the modern world, all the activities are concerned with the economic activities, and very particular, if we become more specific, then we can say for the purpose of earning profit through any venture or activities. The entire business activities are directly related with making profit. That is, according to the economics concept of factors of production, rent given to landlord, wage given to labor, interest given to capital, and profit given to shareholders, entrepreneurs, or proprietors. A business concern needs finance to meet all the requirements, and therefore we can say finance may be called as capital investment, funds, etc. But each term that we use for the finance is having a different meaning and unique in characters. Increasing the profit is the main objective of any kind of economic activity. So you must keep in mind that in order to increase the profit, in order to maximize the profit, in order to earn more and more capital profit, every business requires financial resources. Now let's see what is the meaning of finance. Finance may be defined as the art and science of managing money. It includes financial service and financial instruments, and therefore finance also referred as the provision of money at the time when it is needed. Finance function is the procurement of funds and their effective utilization in business concern. So from the foregoing paragraph, it is clear that finance is defined as an art and science both for the management of money. It is not only require your artistic view towards approaching the management issues related to the finance, but equally requires your scientific and professional approach towards the management of the finance and financial instruments. In a modern world, the meaning of finance is no more a narrow meaning of just cash, money, coin, checks. No, not like that. But the meaning of finance has expanded. The meaning of finance and its ramifications on the business and business decisions, prospects of business decisions has multiplied. So the way we manage the money, the way we manage the finance, also affecting our other functions of the organization and our business. The concept of finance includes capital, funds, money, and amount. But each word is having unique meaning. Studying and understanding the concept of finance become an important part of the business concern. We can very well and safely say that finance is all about studying and understanding and then applying it to various business decisions, especially the decisions that directly and indirectly affect your finance. Any decisions, whether it is marketing, whether it is human resource management, that is HRM, accounts, storekeeping, production, all these decisions, though apparently it may not look that these are the decisions that directly affect your finance, but without considering the financial implications, the monetary implications on all these areas of management, we cannot run any economic activity or we cannot run any business in taboo or in isolation. Now let's see what are the definitions of finance. Many financial experts like Van Horn, Khan and Jain, Prasanna Chandra, I.M. Pandey, P.V. Kulkarni, S.P. Kulkarni, they have given their understanding about the term finance and they have tried to define it very simply for the understanding of the academic fraternity. According to Khan and Jain, finance is the art and science of managing money. As I just told you earlier, the financial management is art and science both. And to add to that, we can say it's an art, science and profession also now. We need an artistic approach to the management of the finance. We also have to have an understanding of the scientific principles for the application of various principles of financial management for our business activities and business decisions. And above all, we must have a professional approach, because today we are operating in a highly competitive environment. We are operating in a dynamic world. We are operating in a business environment that is challenged by not only the domestic challenges but also a global challenges. And in this challenging world, every financial decisions that we make, and one who makes this financial decision, that is a financial expert, we say. By qualification, he may be a MBA with finance, he may be a cost accountant, he may be a chartered accountant, he may not be holding any such professional qualifications, and despite of that he may be having that expertise to make a very prudent financial decision. And therefore all the three words, that is arts, science and profession, are included into the definition of finance. So finance includes art, science and profession. One who makes a financial decision must have a professional approach towards the decision that he makes. He must have a professional understanding of the various concepts of the financial management. In absence of that, there are every chance that he may make a faulty financial decision and he may make a lot of blunders, which may be costly to the company, which may be costly to our business. And in the long run, if he continues to make such inefficient financial decision without understanding the basic definition of finance, then our business in the long run would ultimately come to an end, would not stand in the competition. As I told you earlier, that today we are operating, our businesses are operating in a highly challenging environment. We have seen recently, since March 2020, our country has been experiencing a frequent lockdowns. Lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, now lockdown 4. All these lockdowns have made an immense impact on the business activities, economic activities, commercial activities across the country. And we are a part of the global world. And we are connected to the global businesses, global financial markets, global stock markets, global money markets. We are not operating in isolation. We are not operating in taboo. We are not operating, our businesses are not operating in a watertight compartment. No. We are operating in an environment that is highly challenging. We are highly connected to the global world. Any financial developments that happens in other parts of the world, maybe the American and North American markets, maybe the Middle East or the Southeast Asia or North America, that very much affect our Indian markets, our Indian financial markets. And because of a phenomenal rise in the speed of communication, that is internet, and now we are talking about 4Gs and 5G, you can understand the speed at which the information is being transmitted from one continent to another continent, from one country to another country, one market to another market. And when these information, the data, when they are transmitted from one continent to another continent at such an unimaginable speed, you can understand that how it affects our financial decisions. And if we are poor at understanding the implications in a very professional, scientific and artistic way, that how this is going to affect our financial markets at a macro level and at a micro level to our business activities and our financial decision at a business, then we can no longer survive in the market. According to Oxford Dictionary, the word finance connotes management of money. Webster's 9th New Collegiate Dictionary defines finance as the science of study of the management of funds, and the management of funds as the system that includes the circulation of money, the granting of credit, the making of investment, and the provision of banking facilities. So you can see it's a very broad definition. Finance is not restricted to cash, currency or checks. But as per the Oxford Dictionary and Webster's 9th New Collegiate Dictionary, the definition of finance has expanded by leaps and bounds. It includes the provision of banking facilities as well. So now, when we talk about the financial management, when we talk about the financial decision making, we have to consider the banking industry as well. So now, the definition of finance has expanded beyond our imagination. Business finance. What is business finance? Again, according to the Wheeler, business finance is that business activity which concerns with the acquisition and conservation of capital funds in the meeting of financial needs and overall objective of business needs. See, here business activity is concerned with the acquisition and conservation of capital funds for the achievement of overall objective of business enterprise. Again, see, I told you in the beginning itself that the objective of any economic activity or business activity is earning profit. And now we are not talking only about earning profit. For example, if I buy some commodity at 100 rupees and sell them at 110, then I am earning 10 rupee as a profit. Maybe say gross profit before deducting my cost and all that. If I deduct my all cost, taxes and all that, say 5 rupees, then I will be making 5 rupees. This is a simple understanding of making a profit. But let me tell you that in today's world, we are not talking about this type of profit. We are not satisfied with a 5 rupees profit. The profit has no limit. The sky is the limit for earning the profit. And if you want to achieve that objective of more profit, more and more profit, then naturally you must manage your financial resources in a very dynamic and professional manner. And therefore, you have to concentrate on two flows: cash inflows and cash outflows, or in a technical parlance, we may say acquisition of funds and utilization of funds. How you acquire the fund, because when you acquire the fund, it costs you, because it's a factor of production. As I told you earlier, that there are four factors of production, that is man, money, materials, and machines. According to Gutman and Dougal, business finance can broadly be defined as the activity concerned with planning, raising, controlling, administering of the funds used in the business. In other words, the Pathor and Waite says that business finance deals primarily with raising, administering, and disbursing funds by privately owned business units operating in non-financial fields of industry. Corporate finance is concerned with budgeting, financial forecasting, cash management, credit administration, investment analysis, and fund procurement of the business concern. And the business concern needs to adopt modern technology and application suitable to the business environment. According to the Encyclopedia of Social Sciences, corporate finance deals with the financial problems of corporate enterprise. These problems include the financial aspects of the promotion of new enterprises and their administration during early development, the accounting problems connected with the distinction between capital and income, the administrative questions created by growth and expansion, and finally, the financial adjustments required for the bolstering up or rehabilitation of a corporation which has come into financial difficulties. So we can understand from all this, my foregoing discussion, that management has a very broad meaning at a micro level and macro level both. The financial management has occupied a great significance and importance in the business decision making. Now let's briefly talk about what is the importance of financial management. Financial management, as I told you, is the lifeblood of business organization. It needs to meet the requirement of the business concern. Each and every business concern must maintain adequate amount of finance for their smooth running of business concern, and also maintain the business carefully to achieve the goal of the business concern. The business goal can be achieved only with the help of effective management of finance. We can't neglect the importance of finance at any time and at any situation. Some of the important financial management points are: number one, financial planning. Financial management helps to determine the financial requirement of the business concern and leads to take financial planning of the concern. Financial management is an important part of the business concern which helps for promotion of an enterprise. Second, acquisition of funds. Financial management involves the acquisition of required finance to the business concern. Acquiring required funds plays a major part of the financial management, which involves possible source of finance at minimum cost. The third point is proper use of funds. Proper use and allocation of funds leads to improve the operational efficiency of the business concern. When the finance manager uses the funds properly, they can reduce the cost of capital and increase the value of the firm. Third is financial decision. Financial management helps to take sound financial decision in the business concern. Financial decision will affect the entire business operation of the organization because there is a direct relationship with various department functions such as marketing, production, personnel, etc. Number 4 is improve profitability. Profitability of the organization purely depends on the effectiveness and proper utilization of funds by the business organization. Financial management helps to improve the profitability position of the concern with the help of strong financial control devices such as budgetary control, ratio analysis, and cost volume profit analysis. Number 5 is increase the value of the organization. Financial management is very important in the field of increasing the wealth of the investors and the business concern. Ultimate aim of any business organization will to achieve the maximum profit and higher profitability that ultimately leads to maximize the wealth of the investors as well as the country. And the last but not least is promoting savings. Savings are possible only when the business organization earns higher profitability and they maximize the wealth. Effective financial management helps in promoting and mobilizing individual and corporate savings. Nowadays, financial management is popularly known as business finance or corporate finance, and the business concern or corporate sector cannot function without the importance of financial management. So all this and more, all these points, they tell us that how importance the financial management has in the total decision making process of our business. And no business nowadays can survive without properly recognizing the importance of finance in their total decision making chain. The third point is scope of financial management. Financial management is one of the important parts of overall management, which is directly related with various functional departments like personnel, marketing, production, and many more. Financial management covers wide area with multidimensional approaches, and the following are the important scope of financial management. Number 1, financial management and economics. Economic concepts like micro and macroeconomics are directly applied with the financial management approaches. Investment decisions, micro and macro environment factors are closely associated with the functions of financial manager. Financial management also uses the economic equations like money value discount factor, economic order quantity, etc. Financial economics is one of the emerging area which provides immense opportunities to finance and economical areas. Second is financial management and accounting. As you know, accounting records include financial information of the business concern. Hence, we can easily understand the relationship between the financial management and accounting. In the olden periods, both financial management and accounting are treated as the same discipline, and then it has been merged as management accounting because this part is very much helpful to finance manager to take decisions. But nowadays, financial management and accounting disciplines are separate and interrelated. The third scope is financial management or mathematics. Modern approaches of financial management applied large number of mathematical and statistical tools and techniques. They are also called as economics. Economic order quantity, that is known as EOQ, discount factors, time value of money, present value of money, cost of capital, capital structure theories, dividend theories, ratio analysis, and working capital analysis are used as mathematical and statistical tools and techniques in the field of financial management. Number 4, financial management and production management. Production management is the operational part of the business concern which helps to multiple the money into profit. Profit of the organization depends upon the production performance, and production performance needs finance because production department requires raw materials, machinery, wages, operating expenses, etc. These expenditures are decided and estimated by the financial department, and the finance manager allocates the appropriate finance to production department. The financial manager must be aware of the operational process and finance required for each process of production activities. Number 5, financial management and marketing. Produced goods are sold in the market with innovative and modern approaches. For this, the marketing department needs finance to meet their requirements. The financial manager or finance department is responsible to allocate the adequate finance to the marketing department. Hence, marketing and financial management are interrelated and depends on each other. And the last point of scope is financial management and human resource management, or you can say the personal management. Today, financial management is also highly correlated with human resource department, which provides manpower to all the functional areas of the management. Financial manager should carefully evaluate the requirements of manpower to each department and allocate the finance to the human resource department as wages and salaries, remuneration, commission, bonus, pension, leave salary, and other monetary benefits to the human resource department. And hence, financial management is directly related to human resource management. From the above discussion, it is clear that the scope of financial management is very wide and not restricted to just one function of the organization, but it is divided and including all the correlated department, all the functions, the sub-functions that the organization is carrying out, and which has a direct or indirect connection with the finance department. Though we have say included here majority of the functional areas, but there are other functional areas like say EDP department, or say the IT section, or say the estate management department, or storekeeping section, or the warehousing and transportation department. All there are many other functions and other functional areas where there are a lot of financial decisions taking place, and they have a direct implications with the finance department. Whatever decisions are taken say in the stores department, or say in the inventory management section, or say in the account section, all these decisions, they have direct or indirect implications with the financial management. And therefore, when we talk about the scope of financial management are very wide, and they are not restricted at a micro level, but a macro level. And nowadays in the modern world, as I told you earlier, we are operating in a very highly competitive environment. We are operating in a dynamic environment, and we are a globalized business now. Whether we deal, say, whether we are importing or exporting, or not doing any import export operations, but despite of that, if anything happens elsewhere that is out of country, that affects our business. It may not have an immediate effect, but the effect will definitely come over a period of time. And what we are experiencing now, that is COVID-19, the coronavirus has not emerged in India. The birthplace of coronavirus is not India, it is somewhere else. But despite of that, the maximum implications are being experienced in India. So those businesses which thought that, oh, something is happening, say in Europe, something is happening, say in Australia or Africa, we are not concerned with that. Mind well, don't think that. Anything that happens, say in our neighboring country or say far away from us, but because of the speed of communication, transportation, the things will travel faster than what we anticipated, and it affects our businesses. So from this discussion, it is clear that the scope of finance are very, very wide, and the role of finance manager therefore is also very challenging, because the scope are also wide, the scope are also dynamic. Now the next point is goals, or we can say the objectives of financial management. See, the preceding discussion have shown that financial management as an academic discipline is concerned with decision making in regard to the size and composition of assets and the level and structure of financing. To make a wise decision, a clear understanding of the objectives which are sought to be achieved is necessary. The objective provides a framework for optimum financial decision making. In other words, they are concerned with designing a method of operating the internal investment and financing of the firm. See, objectives are not easy to set, because effective procurement and efficient use of finance lead to proper utilization of finance by business concern. It is the essential part of financial manager. Therefore, the financial manager must determine the basic objectives of the financial management. We discussed that there are two alternative objectives in the financial literature that are available. They are, number one is profit maximization approach or a profit maximization objectives. The second is wealth maximization approach or the maximization of shareholders worth or shareholders value. It should be at the outset noted that the term objective is used in the sense of a goal or decision criteria for the three decisions involved in financial management. It implies that what is relevant is not the overall objective or goal of business, but an operationally useful criterion by which to judge a specific set of mutually interrelated business decisions, namely investment, financing, and dividend policy decision. Now, the second point that should be clearly understood at this point is that the term objectives provide a normative framework. That is, the focus in the financial literature is on what a company or a firm should try to achieve and on policies that should be followed if certain goals are to be achieved. The implication is that these are not necessarily followed by firms in actual practice. Rather, they are intended to serve as a basis for theoretical analysis and benefits received sooner or more valuable than benefits received later. The reason for the superiority criterion, as has been discussed earlier also, do not reflect contemporary empirical industry projection. Thus, the term is used in rather narrow sense of what the firm should attempt to achieve with its investment, financing, and dividend policy decisions. Now, let's see in detail both the objectives. The first is profit maximization objectives. One approach to determine the decision criteria for financial management is a profit maximization goal. According to this approach, actions that increase profit should be undertaken and those that decrease profits are to be avoided. In specific operational terms, as applicable to financial management, the profit maximization criteria implies that the investment, financing, and dividend policy decisions of a firm should be oriented to the maximization of profits. The term profit can be used in two senses. One, as a owner oriented concept, it refers to the amount and share of national income which is paid to the owners of business, that is those who supply equity capital. Second, a variant of the term is profitability. It is an operational concept and signifies economic efficiency. In other words, profitability refers to a situation where output exceeds input. That is, the value created by the use of resources is more than the total of input resources. Used in this sense, profitability maximization would imply that a firm should be guided in financial decision making by one test that select assets, projects, and decisions which are profitable and reject those which are not. In the current financial literature, there is a general agreement that profit maximization is used in the second sense. The rationale behind profit maximization as a guide to financial decision making is simple. Profit is a test of economic efficiency. It provides the yardstick by which economic performance can be judged. Moreover, it leads to efficient allocation of resources, as resources tend to be directed to uses which is in term of profitability are the most desirable. Finally, it ensures maximum social welfare. The individual search for maximum profitability provides the famous invisible hand by which total economic welfare is maximized. Financial management is concerned with efficient use of an important economic resources, that is inputs, namely capital. It is therefore argued that profit maximization should serve as the basic criteria for financial management decision. However, profit maximization is a criteria that questioned and criticized on several grounds. The reasons for the opposition are based on misapprehensions about workability and fairness of the private enterprise itself. Those that arise out of difficulty of applying this criteria in actual real world situation. It would be recalled that the term objective as applied to financial management refers to an explicit operational guide for the internal investment and financing of a firm and not the overall goal of business operation. We therefore focus on the second type of limitation to the profit maximization as an objective of financial management. There are certain technical flaws like ambiguity. It is amenable to different interpretation by different people. Profit may be short term or a long term. It may be a total profit or a rate of profit. It may be a gross profit or a net profit. So this leads to a lot of ambiguity. The second is timing of benefits. It ignores the differences in the time pattern of benefits received from investment proposals or courses of action, which while working out profitability, the bigger is better principle is adopted as the decision is based on the total benefits received over the working life of the asset, irrespective of when they have been received. It is, as I said, it is vague and it ignores the risk. So these are certain technical faults, and therefore profit maximization criteria is sometimes not used as a criteria for financial decision making. The second important financial management objective is wealth maximization. This is also known as value maximization or a net present value maximization. In the current economic literature, value maximization is almost universally accepted as an appropriate operational decision criteria for financial management decision, as it removes the technical limitations which characterize the earlier profit maximization criteria. Its operational features outlined below satisfy all the three requirements of suitable operational objective of financial courses of action, namely exactness, quality of benefits, and time value of money. The value of an asset should be viewed in terms of the benefits it can produce. A significant element in computing the value of financial course of action is the precise estimation of the benefits associated with it. The wealth maximization criterion is based on the concept of cash flows generated by the decision rather than accounting profit which is the basis of measurement of benefit in the case of the profit maximization criteria. Second, measuring benefits in terms of cash flows avoids the ambiguity associated with accounting profit, and this is the first operational feature of the net present wealth maximization criteria. The second important feature of wealth maximization criteria is that it considers both quantity and quality dimension of benefits. At the same time, also incorporates the time value of money. It has been observed that both these were ignored by our profitability or profit maximization criteria. The value of a stream of cash flows with value maximization criteria is calculated by discounting its elements back to the present, and the capitalization must be viewed in terms of the worth of those providing with the resources necessary for its undertaking. In applying the value maximization criteria, the term value is used in terms of worth to the owners, that is shareholders, ordinary shareholders. The capitalization, that is discount rate, that is employed is therefore the rate that reflects the time and risk preferences of the owner or suppliers of capital. The capitalization rate as a measure of quality, that is risk, and timing is expressed in decimal notation. Therefore, we can say that a value maximization criteria is far more superior, and therefore there are many favorable arguments for wealth maximization, because it considers everything, all faults that we saw earlier in the profit maximization criteria. We can say that it is superior. It considers the comparison in the cost associated of the value. It considers both risk of the business concern. It provides efficient allocation of resources. It ensures economic interest of the society as well. But still, there are certain unfavorable arguments for wealth maximization. Number one, wealth maximization leads to prescriptive idea of the business concern, but it may not be suitable to present day business activities. Second, wealth maximization is nothing. It is also profit maximization. It is the indirect name of profit maximization. Third, wealth maximization creates ownership management controversy. 4. Management alone enjoy certain benefits. 5. The ultimate aim of wealth maximization objective is to maximize the profit. And last but not least, wealth maximization can be activated only with the help of the profitable position of the business concern. So we have seen both pros and cons of both the profit maximization and wealth maximization criteria. But despite of that, today majority of the financial decision makers, they who are professional decision makers, they consider wealth maximization criteria as a superior criteria to profit maximization, because it removes all the drawbacks, it removes all the technical difficulties that we faced in profit maximization criteria. So now just let's revisit what we have discussed so far in the first unit of Financial Management 1. We have seen meaning, we have seen the definition, we have seen the definition of the financial management, we have seen the importance of financial management, we have discussed the scope of financial management, and we have seen the goals and objectives of the financial management.